This headboard behind me came out way too nicely to come up with some cheesy intro. It's a really elegant piece of art in my opinion. So we're just gonna cut to this design. I really enjoyed working on this and it was really simple. So let's not ruin this with any of my cheesy jokes. I was gonna make something up about where the magic happens, but let's cut to it. I'm going to save you a ton of time from watching me just cut a ton of wood in this video and jump to it. I cut all of my 8-foot long 1x2s down to about 32-inch sections so I can lay out all of my slats accordingly. The height of my left side will be about 32 inches high and it angles down to about 26 inches high on the right. Let me break down what I'm doing here. I have a flat piece of plywood there. If you have a workshop bench or something, you can use that. Not a big deal. But I do have my bottom board here, which allows me to butt these boards up against it. But I've spaced these 3 boards out evenly by using this as a gap, one of these 1x2s on its side. And what I'm gonna do now is mark the top of these 3 right here, and I'll take those to my saw and find the angle. Once I get that angle, I'll be able to cut all of these. Yeah, that's all I got right now. Again, I'm kind of just winging this as I go, so keep following along. I'm butting them up to a board on the bottom and using another 1x2 for my angle up top. At this point, I like the angle of my scrap board here on top, and I'll make a little line here so I have a general reference of where I need to cut. The location doesn't need to be perfect, and I'll explain why much later. As long as the angle of the cut is the same, you're going to be good. After marking the lines, I'll start writing the numbers 1 through 32 on the back so I know the placement when I hang them up. Now I'll begin cutting each board near the marking I made, all with the same angle, and that angle ended up being a 4-degree angle where I adjusted my miter saw. All right, I'm at like 4 degrees. So I'm just gonna keep going with 4 degrees. Keep that going. These premium pine boards are extremely smooth already, but I'll hit them real quick with some 220 grit sandpaper, especially on the cut ends. After sanding and wiping clean, I'll hit these with some special walnut stain by Minwax. I just apply my stains with an old scrap fabric, usually some underwear or an old sock will do, but I have an actual rag this time. As it goes with all my woodworking projects, it's 3 coats of clear coat with light sanding in between, and I mean very light sanding. I don't even apply pressure. I basically just swipe across the surface with no weight at all and let the grit do the work. All these puppies are now sanded, stained, clear coated with 3 coats and sanding in between. I have them labeled 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way down to 32, I think it is. All right, guess it's time to shoot with my cell phone. I haven't done that in a long time. But my memory cards, even though they're empty, are showing as full and it's a weird format. Anyway, I'll have to set my phone up somewhere. But anyway, yeah, these are all sanded, stained, clear coated 3 times, and then they're ready. And I got my bed kind of centered. My bed is 77 inches because it's a king bed. That's how wide this frame is here. I need to nail these slats in. I never did that. All right, so 77 inches, and this gap between this window and this window is 81. So that leaves me with a starting place of 2 inches on this slat and 2 inches from the end over there for that slat. So what I'm gonna do here is start my first one here, 2 inches off this wall, make sure it's level, 2 inches from this window, I should say. Make sure it's level and then continue all the way along, and that could just center the bed accordingly. These are such small slats, it's gonna be super simple to get this all level and straight. Find something a little shorter. 77 inches exactly. It is now the next day. I got the memory situation all figured out in the camera, and I saved these last 2 slats so I can show you how to do it. Just kidding. I actually ran out of cuts, so I had to go cut a couple more pieces and clear coat them and all that fun stuff, but figured now I will show you on camera exactly what I'm doing in detail rather than just the fast frame. But yeah, so what I'm doing here is, let's see. First, I had my angle piece up here. I took it off because that's the piece I used to cut my new pieces. So I have my angle in place. And what I'm going to do is liquid nails this bad boy. Cool, this stuff still works a day later. It's a cool thing about this, it doesn't really dry up. Like the liquid in the tip, the liquid nails in the tip might, and then it protects the rest. Unlike caulk. Seems like it's really hard to get a second use of caulk. Alright, so I got this as my spacer, a scrap piece of 1x2. And then I'm going to butt this up here. And I'm going to press it against this top board lightly since this is not fixed anymore. Oh, so I gotta leave that there. Push that up again. Okay. And then I nail mine from the bottom first. Then the middle. And then one way up high. Here we go. Okay, so I do 2 down low because it'll be hidden by the bed and the pillows. So you won't be able to see these nail holes. And you'll just see 1 nail hole usually. I have an extra nail hole here because this was my scrap piece that I had mounted here. But I just have 1 nail hole up top that's visible. Don't really care, they're tiny. Doesn't look all that bad. So let me put my liquid nails on here again. I went with the higher end liquid nails. It's like $1 more or $2. I don't know. It might have like the PSI or whatever it's called written on there, the weight that it can carry. But I don't care. All right. I'll just have to eyeball the height of this one. That looks pretty good to me. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was good. Okay. 1. Now we're all done. I might shoot a few more nails on the bottom half again, just to help reinforce it, but you know, as long as people are being gentle with this headboard, shouldn't have any issues. It's affixed to the wall, not affixed to the bed. Oh, one more tip while I have you. Let me adjust the camera here. That's already in view. But what I did on the bottom here is this bottom is about 1 inch higher than my bed frame. So that way, this doesn't have to be level at all. This could be mix match, it's all gonna be hidden. This is the only part that matters. So you wanna butt everything up to that scrap board that you have running across there. And these can fluctuate. These last 2 that I cut were they're a little bit longer than all the rest. Nobody will ever know, still looks pretty good. You don't wanna use a ledger board on the bottom to set this up. You want your ledger board up top to butt into. So this is the crisp, perfect line. This, who cares? Thank you guys for watching this video on this king size headboard here. There is nothing that I've seen like this online or anywhere else. So I am here to share this design with you all. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. Hit that like button down below. Subscribe to this channel for a lot more content just like this. I do have this framed in TV here, which is unique. It looks basic, but it actually slides out because it's just attached with magnets. So that way you can reach the cables and all of that. But there's also an LED light behind it too. That turns on when you turn on the TV. So between this, the coffee table, the fireplace, and this really cool headboard behind me, there's a ton of content I've just launched. So check all of that out on my page. Thanks again. I'll catch y'all on the next one. You've seen some of the final shots now, and you can see my cool nightstand here, which I have a video on how to build something very similar. The difference in the video I have is that the shelf is halfway here, but since this is for an Airbnb, I've decided to make this all the way down to the floor, so that way the cleaner is getting under there. You know, they're gonna miss it. It just happens. And this way you can't miss it. No dirt can get under there. So it stays a lot cleaner. And same with this bed. So I built this floating bed here. You can't tell that there's anything down there unless you're looking. But it's all boxed in, so no dirt, linen, fuzz, whatever can go under there. It's easier to clean, and I also got an LED strip under there too that shines. So this whole bed is like a whole king bedroom setup. It's really nice. It's all stained the same colors, and I'm really proud about how it came out. The only thing I'm missing is a dresser, but we got this really cool deal here. I do have the framed in TV, like I said. So